Skip, remind you now, he only weighed 144. So he was basically 10 pounds, basically under the weight. But he wiped it out.
A much smaller guy just because he's at the end of the road. But the fight's so big and the money's so big, he's going to have to take it. I bet he retires after that fight.
I have to start playing catch up in rounds 4, 5, 6. Believe me, by the 7th round, Canelo is going to be a little muscle fatigued, right? We've seen that. And
Shannon Sharpe issued a stern warning to Canelo-Alvarez about facing Terence Crawford, suggesting the fight could end disastrously for the Mexican star. He emphasized Crawford's superior speed, talent, and stamina, hinting that this might be more than just a loss. It could mark the end of Canelo's dominance in boxing. Meanwhile, Canelo admitted he's contemplating retirement after 2 decades in the ring. He confessed that his desire to explore life beyond boxing is growing stronger, and there are moments when he simply wants to move on.
Has retirement ever crossed your mind? Have you ever thought about that?
I always say like 37 is good time to go. It's not because I can be in the boxing anymore, but sometimes you need to do something else. So I'm being in October I turned 20 years as a professional fighter. So it's meant a lot of years. So
Eddie Hearn, Canelo Alvarez's longtime promoter and close confidant, added fuel to speculation by suggesting that the upcoming bout with Terence Crawford might be Canelo's final fight. According to Hearn, the Mexican icon could be nearing the end of his legendary career, and this clash might serve as his last true test. Hearn's insight carries weight. He has witnessed the physical and mental toll boxing has taken on Canelo over the years. After nearly 20 years in the ring, this could be Canelo's path to closure, especially against one of the most technically gifted fighters of his generation.
Do you see that fight now differently based on how Canelo performed against Skull Eddie?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah? Oh, wow.
It wasn't just the fact that he couldn't cut the ring off. I just feel like the timing now, the age, Canelo is amazing. I mean, not just because of his ability and what he's accomplished, but the fact that he still has the desire for those training camps and those fights. But I just feel like that desire might be fading a little bit. Not because of his love, but just because of age and life. Do you know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, the Crawford fight will definitely get him up for it. But I was actually watching that fight thinking I wouldn't be surprised if he retired and actually didn't fight Crawford, because I don't think he'll want to lose to Crawford, a much smaller guy, just because he's at the end of the road. But the fight's so big and the money's so big, he's going to have to take it. I bet he retires after that fight.
Eddie Hearn also expressed concern over Canelo's recent performances, particularly his outings against John Ryder and William Skull. He pointed out signs of aging, slower combinations, diminished head movement, and reduced punching power. The explosive energy that once defined Canelo's mid-career seems to be fading. On the other hand, Bernie, a close associate of Crawford, expressed unwavering faith in Terence's ability to beat Canelo. He called Crawford a legend rather than just great. What's more surprising is the shift among Mexican fans. While Canelo remains a national hero, some of his most loyal supporters are now backing Crawford. It's not just fanfare, it's recognition of talent, momentum, and hunger. Crawford's performances have earned him global admiration. Even Canelo's own camp acknowledges the threat. It speaks volumes about Crawford's rising legacy.
Yeah. Now, the man said, now it's both good. So you're not going to beat me. So I'm telling you, I guarantee I'm going to beat you. So you know what I'm saying? That's how Crawford is. That's how he feels. He believes in his heart. And you could tell it. You could look him in his eyes. You know what I mean? And a lot of people believe that Crawford going to win this fight. And a lot of Mexican people.
Yeah, they supporting him. They supporting him.
A lot of Mexican people, so they got their formula why Crawford gonna beat him. But it's a tremendous fight. I think Canelo, like I say, is a living legend. Everything that he do. A lot of people don't like him. A lot of Mexicans don't like him, but I love him. I think he's he does everything good in the ring. I think, you know, from swag to everything. I just love Canelo. I can't take it away from him. You know, he had them little allegations and everything.
Yeah.
And that's a damper on him, but I try not to focus on that. You know what I mean? I know he got in there with the baddest guys, the toughest guys, and he came through with flying colors. So I give him all the credit going up there and fighting Bivol when nobody knew who Bivol really wasn't paying attention to him. That man was a 25-year-old champion, the reigning champion, title defenses under his belt, and young and good. And Canelo fought him. So, you know what I'm saying? That was a challenge. You feel me? Had the height, had the reach, had a lot of, you know what I mean? So I give Canelo none but credit. I thank him for allowing us to get this fight. And you see what Crawford said. I didn't get to Canelo got to fight these guys with the names. I didn't necessarily get to fight all the guys with the names when I wanted to, but I got him.
Yes.
That's the how it coming around full circle. And when God got it for you, nobody can be against you. And so I think he's the most deserving fighter of that outside of Benavidez. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Besides that, but Benavidez still doesn't bring the super fight dynamic to it. It's a really good fight with Benavidez, but this is a super fight. Exactly. We have legends fighting together. David Benavidez has yet to become a legend. He's still growing in the sport. Absolutely. Crawford is a legend. 14 years in the sport, 10 years as champion, 11 years going on. You understand? Undisputed 2 different times, fighter of the year, all those different things. So, like I say, and the mystique of Crawford is legend in itself. The mystique of Crawford. So, I mean, you know, so it's a super fight. Again, I thank Canelo Alvarez for taking the
Former middleweight champion Kelly Pavlik offered an honest take on the matchup, going against popular opinion by backing Crawford as the stronger and more effective fighter. Pavlik praised Crawford's raw skill, tactical pressure, and exceptional physical condition. More revealing, however, was his critique of Canelo. Pavlik believes Canelo has adopted a cautious style in recent fights, aiming more to avoid defeat than to dominate or secure knockouts. Against an aggressive, hungry fighter like Crawford, that approach might not hold up. Pavlik drew a stark contrast. One man is chasing greatness while the other seems to be holding on.
Class, and he's a great fighter. I mean, that's it. Crawford is so talented. He's got so much ability in boxing, his boxing ability. And he's a bigger guy too. He's almost every bit as big as Canelo, right? So that's what makes it tough. Like, yeah, Canelo's used to fighting guys coming down from 200 probably, you know, at light heavyweight. And Crawford ain't. But it's just too hard to pick on it because of Crawford's ability and boxing skills. I'm not going off of Canelo's last fight. You know, the guy he was fighting was in survival mode pretty much. He was just fighting not to get knocked out. When you fight a guy like that, you're not going to look good, right? I don't care what anybody says. When you fight a guy that's running around trying to survive, it makes it hard. So I don't go off of that, but this fight is going to be interesting. I mean, I would almost have to kind of lean with Canelo, but I'm not making that pick. Just saying, guys, so nobody come at me. I'm going to sit back and enjoy this one. I'm not worrying about anybody, you know, saying, hi, you're wrong or talking. But it'll be a good one.
Renowned trainer Robert Garcia added to the conversation, observing that Canelo has stepped away from his once aggressive knockout style. Garcia didn't mince words. He believes Canelo is tired. Having fought professionally since his teens, Canelo has carried the burden of boxing for over 20 years. The precision and boldness of his early career have evolved into a more cautious approach, designed to conserve energy and reduce risk. Garcia's remarks weren't critical, but rather a recognition of the toll Canelo's career has taken after countless battles. The effects are beginning to show in the ring.
Why is it that Shiraz was able to knock out Berlanga, but not Canelo?
It's because Canelo doesn't go out for the knockout anymore. Canelo's just now. You know, we've seen in the last few fights, he just does enough to win. He did the same again, Munguia. He dropped Munguia, but then they didn't want to finish him. Charlo, Berlanga. He wants to cruise through the fight. You know, he's up there, you know, in not in age because he's only like 33 or 34. Yeah. But he's
fighting since 15.
He was 15. A lot of training camps, a lot of sparring matches. So all that takes a lot out of your body. So he takes care of his body too. So he doesn't go all out because he doesn't want to just finish his body. He knows he still has a few more years and a few big fights where he wants to take care of himself and not punish himself too much. That's why he hasn't been able to knock those guys out. Not because he can't. I think he just does enough to win. I think Shiraz also has great power, man. I think Shiraz has the power that nobody believes.
Entertainment analyst The Grown Up shared, that the Canelo-Crawford bout has the potential to become historic. Defeating a global icon like Canelo could elevate Terence Crawford into legendary status, but he also warned of the double-edged nature of greatness. If Crawford dominates too convincingly, conspiracy theories might emerge, questioning how a smaller man could overcome someone like Canelo. In today's social media-driven world, extraordinary success often draws skepticism. The bigger the win, the louder the noise. For Crawford, this fight could represent the pinnacle of his career and the beginning of a new chapter, filled with both praise and controversy.
Is going to attempt to do something that is so incredible, so magnificent, so amazing as a fighter and for his legacy, in trying to beat Canelo Alvarez, the 168-pound undisputed champion. My fear is, if he does that, if he accomplishes that, if he is able to succeed in accomplishing such a magnificent goal, people will immediately discredit Terence Bud Crawford and his victory, calling him a drug cheat.
Veteran sports broadcaster Stephen A. Smith, known for his bold takes, gave a clear prediction. He believes Terence Crawford will win on points. According to Smith, Crawford's discipline, ring IQ, and ability to control the pace make him the favorite in a 12-round contest. While acknowledging Canelo's power, Smith pointed to a noticeable decline in his recent performances. In contrast, Crawford thrives in longer, tactical fights. A unanimous decision win would not only secure Crawford the victory, it could cement his status as the best active boxer and one of the greatest fighters of the modern era.
You got a love for boxing.
Yes, love
Who
boxing.
gonna win the fight, man? That's coming up, the biggest fight in boxing.
Crawford.
Huh?
Crawford. I'm not hesitating. Crawford. I'm not even hesitating. Crawford.
You gonna stand on that all the way to September 13th?
I love Canelo. Crawford will beat Canelo. Crawford will beat Canelo by decision. I can't see anybody knocking out Canelo Alvarez. But I do believe that if you can box and you can move, that you can beat Canelo. You can outpoint him.
That's right.
When I think about Canelo, one of the things that I don't like about Canelo, despite his greatness, and a neck as wide as Broadway, for crying out loud.
Right.
It's like almost every shot has to be a power shot.
It's a power shot, yeah.
That's not beating Crawford. I will confess, I think Gervonta Davis's trainer, Cal, I think he said this. He said Crawford could find himself in trouble if he decides to engage with Canelo, because Canelo is the naturally bigger, strong fighter. And I don't care that Crawford's gotten bigger, and I don't care that Crawford's gonna go in there just as big as Canelo. Canelo is accustomed to fighting at the weight, and Crawford is not. And Canelo is a genius in this regard. You don't see him show up for fights not ready. He's always
prepared.
He's always ready. He's always prepared. So I think he's the slower fighter, though. And I think that Crawford is brilliant as a boxer. And I think that between switching to conventional and southpaw, using his jab and movement, I think that Crawford is going to outpoint Canelo because he's faster. But I don't think he's on.
Ahead of the fight, Terence Crawford spoke confidently but respectfully, acknowledging Canelo's size and pressure-based style, unshaken by the challenge. Crawford's calm demeanor shows he's well prepared for any scenario. His attitude reflects a balance of humility and focus, recognizing Canelo's stature, while maintaining quiet confidence in his own adaptability and skills.
Man, I'm feeling good. You know, work has been going great. And, you know, fight time, we're going to be prepared to put on a great show for you guys.
Has this been in your mind? We've been talking about it forever. Did you feel like this was eventually going to be the case, that you and Canelo were going to eventually get in there?
Not at all. Not at all. I didn't, you know, think it was, you know, a fight that he wanted. So I didn't really know. But, you know, thanks to Turkey, Al-Sheikh, he made it possible. And, you know, we got one of the biggest fights in the last decade, you know, happening at Allegiant Stadium, September 13th.
When you get in there, what do you expect? Everyone's going to make, you know, a size difference, but what do you expect when you get in there with Canelo?
I'm expecting Canelo to beat Canelo. You know, he's the bigger man. I expect him to, you know, box a little bit, but I also expect him, you know, to try to walk me down and be the bigger man. So, you know, we expect everything in there.
Terence got to be Terence, bro. He's a real deep thinker. He processed fights like nobody else. And he's processed this Canelo fight. He's seen it. He went through it 2 or 3 times already. He knows how this ends. You can tell the way he shadow boxes. He visualizing Canelo being right there in front of him. You understand? Look at the movement. That's all you got to do. Look at the movement. And that's the type of master boxer that Canelo is going to be facing. And the only thing I say is Canelo hasn't faced an opponent like this in a long time. You know what I mean? I think Canelo's going to have to go back to the Caleb Plant fight and look that good, that active, that, you feel me, moving with that type of grace to beat Terence Crawford. Because weight ain't going to make the difference. It ain't going to be the weight. It's going to be the skill set.
The best fighter he has ever faced. He says that he believes that Terence Bud Crawford is better than legendary Hall of Famer Bernard Hopkins, Oscar De La Hoya. There's no shot there. Tito Trinidad. But the shot came in where he said that he believes he is definitely better than Russian superstar undisputed light heavyweight world champion who beat Canelo Alvarez. I thought pretty handily, 9 rounds to 3. I thought 10 rounds to 2, but 9 rounds to 3 at worst. He beat Canelo Alvarez in Dimitri Bivol. And then he said that, but this is not a shocker, he said this before, that Terence Crawford is better than Floyd Mayweather. Now, I personally don't believe that. I believe that Floyd Mayweather is a better fighter. But nonetheless, Terence Crawford is a great in his own right. But this just goes to show that Canelo Alvarez has learned something, a thing or two from Floyd Mayweather. He showed some things he took from Floyd Mayweather from their fight, which he lost every single round to a 36-year-old going on 37-year-old Floyd Mayweather. In 2013, he lost every single round to Floyd Mayweather, right? Floyd Mayweather always build up his opponents. Always. Okay? He always build up his opponents. He never tear down his opponents. He learned, if you tear down your opponent, how you get credit for your opponent for the win.